Hello everyone, today my group will present our anthology which focuses on the theme of forbidden love and transgressive desire in Philippine literature and film. Philippine literature reflect the history, culture and identity of Filipino people because of the colonization, religion and strong social values. Love is often not simple or free. Instead, love is usually controlled by society, family expectation, and moral rules. In many literary works, love becomes forbidden when it goes against these rules. This creates conflict between the personal feelings and societal expectation. In our anthology, we analyze 4 poems, 2 short stories, and 1 film. All of these works show how love is affected by factors such as social class, morality, patriarchy, and colonial influence. For overall, this study argues that forbidden love show that the struggle between what a person feels and what a society accepts. Because of this, characters often experience pain, sacrifice, and resistance.
Hi, my name is Eviana Maisara binti Mama Isa. I will continue this presentation with the poem analysis. We have chose 4 poems, which is the first one is Florente et Laura. Florente et Laura was written by Francisco Balagtas, also known as Francisco Baltazar. He is widely known as the Prince of Tagalog poets and is one of the greatest figures in Philippine literature. He was born in Biga, Bulacan, into a poor family. Despite financial difficulties, he pursued education and studied poetry under Jose de la Cruz. His talent developed quickly, but his life was full of struggles, including imprisonment due to personal conflicts. It was during his time in prison that he wrote Florente et Laura. Because of this, the poem reflects both his personal suffering and the social injustices during Spanish colonization. Although the story appears to be a simple love story between Florente and Laura, it actually contains deeper meanings. Balagtas used allegory to criticize tyranny, corruption, and oppression without directly confronting colonial authorities. One of the main themes in Florente et Laura is forbidden love and transgressive desire. Florente and Laura love each other deeply, but their relationship is constantly blocked by external forces such as betrayal, jealousy, and political power. Their love becomes forbidden not because of personal incompatibility, but because of corrupt authority. Another important theme is the connection between love and resistance. Laura remains loyal to Florente, even pressured by Adolfo, while Florente continues to love her despite his suffering in exile. The poem also uses imagery like imprisonment and exile to show how love is suppressed under unjust systems. However, the eventual reunion represents hope and shows that love can overcome oppression. Overall, love in this poem is not only emotional, but also a symbol of freedom, justice, and resilience. As for the forbidden love and transgressive desire, the first one is love constrained by tyranny. Florente and Laura's love is restricted by power corruption and Adolfo's ambition. Their relationship shows how authority interferes with personal choice. Laura cannot freely choose Florente, and Florente suffers because of political manipulation. This is proven in the stanza that I will attach here. This shows that treachery rules everywhere, preventing true love from existing freely. And the second one is emotional suffering in separation. The separation between Florente and Laura creates deep emotional pain. Florente is exiled, while Laura is forced away from him. Their love becomes a source of both suffering and endurance. This is proof in this stanza. This shows Florente's longing and sadness, highlighting how forbidden love intensifies emotional suffering. And the last one is love as resistance despite all challenges. Their love becomes a form of resistance. Laura refuses to give in into Adolfo, and Florente remains loyal to her. Their love challenges oppression and symbolizes strength. This is proven in this stanza that I will attach here. This shows that love gives meaning to life and becomes a symbol of freedom and defiance. In conclusion, Florente and Laura is not just a romantic story but also a powerful allegory about oppression, resistance, and justice. Balagtas uses love to express deeper social issues, making the poem both meaningful and timeless. The second poem is Sadakong Huli. Sadakong Huli was written by Lope K. Santos, one of the most important Filipino writers of the early 20th century. He is also known as the father of the Philippine national language because of his contribution to developing Tagalog. He was born in Pasig, Rizal, during a time where the Philippines was shifting from Spanish to American rule. Because of this, many of his works reflect social change, moral values, and cultural expectations. This poem is not just a love poem, it also carries a moral message warning readers about the dangers of uncontrolled desire. Santos shows that while love is natural, it must be guided by discipline, responsibility, and proper values. The main themes in this poem is forbidden love and transgressive desire. The poem shows that love can bring happiness and comfort. However, when love becomes uncontrolled or goes against moral and social rules, it leads to pain, regret, and suffering. Another important theme is the conflict between personal desire and social responsibility. In the poem, individuals are not free to follow their emotions completely because society expects them to follow rules, honor, and proper behavior. This means that love is not only a personal matter, but also something judged by society. As a result, forbidden love becomes a symbol of the struggle between human desire and moral limits. As the forbidden love and transgressive desire in Sadakong Huli, the first one is love constrained by morality and social order. The poem shows that love must follow moral boundaries. This is proven in this stanza that I will attach here. This means that love can bring happiness but only when it is guided by discipline and responsibility. Without control, love can become harmful. And the second one is societal expectations and the burden of honor. The poem also highlights how societal controls individual choices. This is proven in this stanza that I will attach here. This shows that when love goes against social expectations, happiness can turn into suffering. People are judged not only by their feelings, but also by their actions and reputation. And the last one is consequences of transgressive desire. Finally, the poem warns about the effects of uncontrolled love. This is proven in this stanza that I will attach here. This means that foolish or reckless love will eventually lead to real pain and regret. The phrase Luhang Tu Tu shows that the suffering is genuine and unavoidable. In conclusion, Sadakong Huli teaches us that love must be balanced with morality, responsibility, and self-control. Without this, love can turn from something beautiful into something painful. Therefore, the poem serves both as a romantic reflection and a moral warning.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. I'm Nufarsha Sabrina binti Muhammad Farid. I will be presenting my part for the Forbidden Love and Transgressive Desire, which is for my section. I have chosen two Filipino poems, which are Kung Tuyo na ang Luha Mo Aking Bayan by Andres Bonifacio and Kay Celia by Francisco Balagtas. So both poems explore the idea of forbidden love, but in different ways. One focuses on patriotic love, while the other focuses on romantic love. Now let's move on to the first poem, which is Kung Tuyo na ang Luha Mo Aking Bayan. This poem by Andres Bonifacio was a revolutionary leader during the Spanish colonial period. He founded the Katipunan and used writing as a way to express resistance. His poems reflect the struggle of Filipino under colonial rules, where loving one's country was considered dangerous and rebellious. Now let's move on to the theme of this poem. The main theme here is forbidden love in the form of patriotism. In this poem, love for the nation is not freely expressed because it is suppressed by colonial authority. this transforms love into something transgressive, meaning it goes against power and control. Now we're moving on to the love constrained by colonial rule founded in this poem. It shows that how love for the country is restricted by oppression. People cannot openly express their devotion because it is seen as rebellion. For example, when your tears have dried my country. So this line has shown that the suffering of the nation and how love must be hidden under colonial rule. We're moving on to the second poem, which is the emotional suffering and sacrifice. The speaker expressed deep emotional pain, showing that love for the nation involves sacrifice. For example, I am willing to die if it means your freedom. This shows that forbidden love becomes stronger as it requires suffering and commitment. And the last one is love as resistance. Finally, love becomes an act of resistance. The speaker says, I will offer my life to you. This shows that love is no longer just an emotion, but a form of defiance against oppression. Okay, now let's move on to the second poem that I've chosen, which is Kay Celia by Francisco Balata. It is a romantic poem influenced by his personal life. His love was affected by a rival with more power, which caused emotional suffering. The theme of this poem is forbidden romantic love, where love cannot be fulfilled due to social status and inequality. Let's move to the love constrained by social power founded in this poem. It shows that love is controlled by wealth and status. For example, if I possessed wealth equal to his, you would not have left me. This shows how the speaker's love becomes forbidden because of inequality. The second one is emotional suffering in separation. The poem emphasizes the pain of losing a loved one. For example, one who has not suffered the pain of the heart cannot understand true affection. This shows how suffering is part of forbidden love. The last one is desire that cannot be fulfilled. Lastly, the speaker accepts that his love will never succeed. For example, I suffer until the end. This shows how forbidden love leads to lasting emotional pain. So in conclusion, both poems show that forbidden love is not only about romance, but also about power, society, and resistance. While Bonifacio presents love as a form of political rebellion, Balagtas presents love as personal suffering caused by social inequality. Together, they show how love can become powerful when it is restricted, making it both emotional and meaningful. That is all for my part. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nova Rahim binti Shamsuddin. Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So for my part for the anthology project, I'll be analyzing two short stories which are The Bamboo Grove Secret by Santos and The Silent Veil by Clarissa de la Cruz. So both works explore the themes of forbidden love and transgressive desire, showing that how personal emotion often clash with cultural and societal boundaries. The first one is The Bamboo Grove Secret by Santos. So this story blends folklore with contemporary life. At its heart, it tells of a secret romance that hidden within a mystical bamboo grove. So the forbidden love here is symbolic, as the grove itself represents the boundaries between reality and legends, and how the lovers cross those boundaries to pursuing their desires. Their relationship is transgressive because it defies both tradition and supernatural warnings that tie to the grove. Love becomes dangerous not only socially but spiritually, as the character risks dishonor and even supernatural punishment. This reflects how Philippine literature often portrays that love as something constrained by cultural taboos, where desire can lead to suffering if it challenges the accepted norms. The second one is The Silent Veil by Clarissa de la Cruz. So this modern psychological story focuses on a woman who uncovers hidden truth in her city. also about her stuff. The veil symbolizes secrecy and repression, and the forbidden love here is not just a romantic but emotional, because the protagonist desire a freedom and intimacy in a society that silences women. And her transgressive desire lies in a breaking away from silence and confronting hidden realities. By pursuing love and truth, she defies the practical expectation and risks social condemnations. The story shows how forbidden love is not always about romance alone, but also about the courage to desire autonomy and emotional honesty in a restrictive environment. So both stories highlight how forbidden love is more than just romance. It's about the crossing boundaries. In The Bamboo Grove Secret, the boundary is cultural and mythical. Meanwhile, in The Silent Veil, it is psychological and social. So together, they show that transgressive desire in Philippine literature often symbolize resistance, whether against traditions, supernatural fear, or patriarchal silence. Clearly, these stories remind us that love becomes more powerful when it challenges the limits that imposed by society. In short, the short stories reveal that forbidden love and transgressive desire are not simply personal struggle, but reflection of a larger cultural and social conflicts, that they show us how literature uses love to question authority, the traditions, and the silence. So I guess that's all from me. Thank you for listening.
Okay, now I will talk about the film of Secret Love. This film directed by Edgardo Vinarao, who usually makes emotional and romantic film about complicated relationship. The story is about two people who fall in love, but their relationship is not accepted by society. At first, everything feels normal, but later they realize they cannot show their love openly. So they keep their relationship a secret. This show forbidden love. At the same time, they continue loving each other even though they know it is wrong. This is what we call transgressive desire, because they choose to follow their feeling instead of society's rules. Because of this, they feel scared and stressed. Another point is the emotional struggle, especially for the female character. She feel love, but also guilt at the same time. Lastly, their secrets start to affect other people, creating fear, tension, and possible judgment. In the end, the film shows that love can be strong, but transgressive desire also can bring pain and conflict when it goes against society. Okay, to conclude, all the poems, short stories, and the film show that forbidden love and transgressive desire are important themes in Philippine literature. These works show that love is not always easy because it is controlled by society, culture, and rules. Because of this, characters often feel pain, stress, and sadness, but at the same time, their actions show courage when they follow their desires. For overall, this work teach us that love can be both beautiful and painful, especially when it goes against what society accepts. I think that's all from us. Thank you.